Well, good evening. Welcome into a Friday night basketball action. The Sal's National Basketball League, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. And we're in Taranaki. And it's one of those games where it's mirror image. Put a line right down the middle, and they are polar opposites, these two teams. Taranaki struggling at the foot of the table. And the Saints, of course, they're in their familiar spot at the top of the Sal's National League. Funnier things have happened in sport, though. Good evening, welcome, and Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Dylan Boucher. This has all the makings of a very one-sided encounter, Dylan. But who knows? Mountaineers coming off the back of a win. Yeah,
you're only as good as your last game, AD, and both teams have had a win. Mountaineers have been treated by another great crowd in the house, so hopefully they can spur them on and make this a real contest. Yeah, absolutely. The support has been superb. In fact, I think they're the MVPs of supporters this season. There's the roster, likely to start with Telfer, Walker, Mulvihill, Wynyard and Jones. And the two key players from an offensive and defensive point of view, Wynyard and Jones, both coming off double-doubles in that win over the Jets. Let's listen in now to their head coach, Trent Adam.
After coming off a win last week against the Jets, what are you taking from last week's game that will help you against the Saints tonight?
I thought we made some progress defensively as far as being a little bit more accurate in what our scout was and sticking to that, so I was very pleased with that. And obviously Ty was able to be sort of a very strong presence down low, so we're hoping that we can continue on in that sort of frame of mind.
Dion Brewster has been devastating in the pick and roll. What are you doing to tackle that this week?
Yeah, they're a very good pick and roll team, and Dion heads that. So showing him different looks is going to be important for us, different people on him, and then mixing up our coverages to try and sort of slow that sort of attack down for us. That'll be great.
Good luck.
With those thoughts, just giving a little insight into how they will approach taking on the star-studded Saints roster. And there is their entire roster for the season, but the starters and the ones likely to shoulder the burden of trying to get that W tonight: Darnay Samuel, who's been so good, Kerwin Roach, Dion Brewster, who's been mentioned already, Tohi Smith-Milner certainly starting to find his shooting range, and Kenneth Tuffin. They have so many options on the bench as well. Let's listen in to their head coach, Zico Coronel.
A strong win against the Hawks last week. Coming up against the bottom of the table Ears, what are some work-ons from last week that you think will be key in tonight's game?
I mean, obviously we've played Nelson since then as well. As irrespective of where they are on the table, we don't pay attention to that. We have a set of habits that we need to improve upon and continue to build and grow irrespective of the opponent. Can we be better than the Saints have been before?
Ty had a strong game last week. What do you think you'll need to do to contain him?
Yeah, we need to apply our principles and do a good job of our preparation and make it difficult for him in all areas. Obviously, it's an important part of the Mountaineers attack.
Good luck tonight.
Zico Coronel with his thoughts. And, well, one thing we will see tonight for the first time, in fact three, and they're called the referees. Because, Dylan, I believe a huge opportunity here, and we want to acknowledge this. Connor McKinstry, Tony Eldershaw and Kobe Lucas, not the three referees that were assigned to this game. What's the backstory?
Yeah, obviously the three referees that were assigned to this game were coming down from Auckland and haven't been able to get on a flight. I believe the flights have been closed going from Auckland to Taranaki or to New Plymouth. So these three referees, hats off to them. They've put their hand up and, at a last-minute notice have stepped in, and I believe it's probably a debut for all three referees in the Sal's NBL.
Yeah, and huge ups to them for taking on that responsibility. I'm hesitating as I say it, Dylan. I'm sure the players and coaches will acknowledge that and take that on board as well as they go through this 40 minutes.
Well, they're all certainly aware of it. We'll see if the game gets tight, whether they stick to their protocols. But no, I mean, it's a lot of pressure on these referees, but also a lot of pressure on both these teams, obviously, to perform. And again, I just want to talk about this Mountaineers crowd. How good is it
Absolutely.
To see, hardly a spare seat in the house. And they've been rewarded all season, the Ears have, by getting great crowds in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just been early on in the season, we thought, is it Is it in memory of Coach McKean? People were turning out early on. Is it because of the excitement on the back of the showdown last year? But it's just kept rolling, and basketball is so strong in this province. You know it, Dylan. You grew up in this part of the world. It is great to see. They just need to try and get another couple of W's in that column.
Yeah, well, you're right. These fans have been loyal. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of wins that they've been spectacle of, and last week was an important one for them.
And a change in the Taranaki Mountaineers starting lineup, Dylan, to the roster we were given. And this is an opportunity for Carlin Davison, the teenager.
Carlin Davison's had a great season, and he's 17 years old, and he's certainly shown he's capable of playing at this level, if not higher. He's look out for his athleticism. On probably the first play of the game, they may go to that alley-oop play as we see Dion Brewster start the tempo for the Saints.
And he's been so good this season. He's right up there in all the statistical categories. Not a good start, though. No deflection there from Brewster. I'm not sure he got caught sort of halfway between, looking for Smith-Milner or Tuffin in the corner.
Yeah, I think Smith-Milner wasn't aware that pass was for him. As we see, Marcel Jones takes the point guard duties on Dane Samuels.
So, Bouch, how do the Mountaineers stay competitive here against the team that is top of the table? Is that an example of it?
That's exactly what I would want to see on the first play, and coming off a 31-point, 17-rebound game, that's got to be a focal point. But the way to win this game is slowing down number 13, Dion Brewster.
Yeah, the problem then is maybe number 16 gets going. He doesn't there with the three ball. Come on, Tor, don't let me down. But so they do have options, don't they? Dane Samuel's just been shooting the lights out over recent weeks.
Yeah, he's been a very tough customer for them, as we see a penetration from Davison. Ran into Smith-Milner.
Yeah, rejected at the hoop. Brewster with the possession. Saints yet to get on the board early doors, just ticking beyond that first minute. Roach says something for the Saints as Dane Samuel has a look with that three ball. I was going to say, though, Dylan, it says something about the Saints with their proud and rich heritage and history, that when you talk about the Saints this season, you don't talk about their imports, do you? You talk about the local players being the leading lights.
Yeah, well, this Saints team isn't a star-studded Saints team like we've seen in the past, and credit to the coaching of Zico Coronel, who's getting the best out of these players. I mean, Dane Samuel, Smith-Milner are having a great year, but Dion Brewster's having a career year. I think Kenneth Tuffin was a great pickup for them also. And they're just getting great contributions. Even the young guys on the bench are coming and contributing for them, and picking up Leon Henry late in the season was a great pickup to bring some experience and leadership, and also some three-point shooting prowess as well.
A couple of fouls called in quick succession here, and it is Taranaki who will go to the line. And don't get me wrong, folks, Roach is good. Yeah, he's good. He's playing very well. But what I'm saying is he's not the headline act necessarily for the Saints. They've got such good output from their New Zealand talent, and such a well-balanced roster.
Yeah, very well-rounded, well-balanced roster. You can see the differing styles right now. The Mountaineers really attacking the hoop, and the Saints opting to shoot from the perimeter right now.
Telfer with a couple from the strike, and still the Saints looking for their first contribution to the scoreboard. Foul called on Scott Telfer.
Telfer doing what he does best, being a pest out there, making Dion Brewster's life a little bit more uncomfortable than what it was before he started the game.
Yeah, and we heard Trent Adam talking about forcing as Tuffin goes upstairs for the first points for the Saints, but they're very well aware of Brewster and his importance to this team. So there's Hayes Walker with a little hesitation, but he's met at the hoop, still finishes. Good effort through the contact. Dane Samuel says there was a push off there.
There's your answer if they're going to go easy on the refs.
Brewster, Samuel, his head back in the game and not focused on the ref for the moment. Nice little spin and a nice finish off the glass.
Yeah, beautiful spin move. Good defense from Marcel Jones, but better offense from Dane Samuel. As you've seen, Davison getting the full court pressure from Dion Brewster.
And just to finish on Brewster, Dylan, I was sort of halfway there before we saw that finish from Samuel as Smith-Milner with the steal. What are the different looks that you have to force Prewster into? How do you defend Prewster?
Yeah, it's a tough one. He's always constantly coming off on-ball screens or handoffs, so it's a tough ask. And whoever gets the opportunity to guard him has to deal with multiple screens and handoffs. And Dion can shoot the three, he can shoot the pull-up game, and he can attack all the way to the hoop and finish above the rim. So he's a tough customer for any guard to be able to try and defend in this league.
Smith-Milner will go to the line. It's a good start here from Taranaki. We're a third of the way, more or less, through this opening quarter, as Smith-Milner does not have enough on that first free throw. Still in the locker room.
Yeah, so he brings a level of basketball IQ to this group, and facilitating as well as being able to score and rebound as well, and with his big frame.
There'll be some interesting conversations, Dylan, and perhaps we'll save some of ours for later in this one and keep our eyes on this game. But I'll tease that a little bit now by saying there's a Tall Blacks team to be named soon for the Asia Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
So players coming out of this Cells National League. I would imagine the team's largely going to come from this competition, given the travel issues that the NBL players have already faced this season.
Yeah, well, the NBL guys have got such a quick turnaround for their season. They're going to be almost in pre-season mode very shortly. So it's a tough ask to be able to throw in an Asia Cup window with that as well. So, yeah, like you say, a lot of the talent is going to come from this league. As we see, a beautiful pass from Carlin Davison and a nice Euro step baseline from Hayes Walker.
And Walker can score at a good clip. He had 15, didn't he, against the Jets, and he needs to provide that offensive support for the likes of Wynyard and Jones.
Yeah, agree. I think he needs to be more aggressive out there, sometimes a little bit tentative to take that shot. A very, very good three-point shooter.
Little two-man basketball initially. Smith-Milner and Prewster. Toughen from the corner, can't make it drop. And Smith-Milner gets a hand in there. It's still possession with the Mountaineers. And the longer they stay in contact, the more they bring the crowd into the game. Double team on Jones. They get around that through Wynyard. And again, that's the outlet. Get him in the low post.
Well, one thing Marcel Jones does very well in the pick and roll is he feeds his big man. Ty Wynyard constantly getting good looks, early passes from Marcel Jones, who's able to thread that needle and make a nice pass to be able to finish inside. Oh, Dane Samuels could have been called for an offensive foul on that one.
He was looking for the call his way, but he was out of control a bit. Fakes and 24-second violation. And look at Trent Adam, absolutely applauding the effort of his team as it looks like they go to the bench for the first time, and Telfer gets a breather, and looks like Roach heading out.
Yep, and Mulvihill checking in, and Leon Henry checking in, and Waingafa for the Saints.
It's a good start here, Dylan, for the home side.
Yeah, it's a great start for this home side. And Trent Adam talked about, last week they were happy with their defensive intensity, and we see there a 24-second violation, and one of the best offensive teams in the league. So very, very happy for him.
Yeah, and a guy like Dane Samuel has just been playing so well as on the curl, Davison turns it over too cheaply. Just to telegraph the pass a little bit there, but Dane Samuel's been playing so well, and if they can frustrate him early on, that's almost a sign of respect.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Leon Henry's impact in this game straight away. First comes up with a steal, keeps the offensive rebound alive, and just that basketball IQ, that experience, being able to be in the inside on the glass, using his length and size to make an impact.
First timeout is called here this evening. And great atmosphere, and this will only heighten the longer the Airs stay in this game. And I'm not being disrespectful to them in saying that. The facts are they come into this game bottom of the league. You can't hide from that. So the longer they're in the contest, the more they're going to get this crowd on the edge of their seats.
We can just hear the crowd. They're buzzing right now, and they want this team. They want to spur this team across the line. And, we're early days. Don't get me wrong, we're very early days in this contest, but, they're showing ominous signs. And as we see there, a school group coming in with their school uniforms on. It's great to see. Great to see a good crowd showing up again for this Mountaineers team.
Can't tell from that distance. You recognise the colours, Dylan? I'm testing your memory here. What were the schools that you attended?
Well, I went to Bell Block Primary School and we were blue, so it'd be great to think that could be my old primary school. It's been a few years since those days, mate.
Yeah, I've spent a bit of time here in the region as well through various different sporting events. Notably, the region hosts annually a World Cup triathlon event, of course, which brings international athletes into town, and a lot of the work done around that event is in the community, in the schools, and really the impact that these athletes, these basketballers, the triathletes that they can have on the kids, absolutely superb. Great to see the kids here. Prewster, are they going to struggle to get another shot up here? That would absolutely see them on. Then they left Prewster all alone. They just went to sleep at the last minute.
You don't want to do that. They've got in their sharpshooter and Troy McLean. Probably one of the oldest players in the competition, and may even be the oldest in the competition, I believe. Maybe him or Aaron Bailey-Knoll.
Oh, the three ball from Jones. If he can light it up, he had 23, 11 and 6 against the Jets.
When Marcel Jones gets going and makes this offense of the Airs a lot more potent, I'll tell you that. As we see Darnay Samuels trying to equal at the other end. He's shot the ball so well this season. 0 for 2 right now from the three-point line for Darnay Samuels.
Jones, well, that's a cheap foul called, isn't it? Leon Henry, there wasn't much contact there, but a whistle, and Jones will go to the line here.
This is the experience of Jones. You know, he knows there's 3 young referees out there. He's attacking and trying to draw fouls because he knows they're probably going to make those calls because they're not used to this physicality. Smart play, and Leon Henry looks a little bit bewildered at the call because he felt like his body was in front. Jones will go to convert the three-point play.
I do just want to mention this point again about our referees, folks. If you've just joined us, the 3 referees essentially on debut. Local referees put their hand up. The referees scheduled for this one couldn't get out of Auckland. So 3 local referees have stepped up, and all power to them. But Dylan, already I think we've seen it is just not in a basketballer or a coach's DNA to give the referee a break, is it?
No, definitely not. You're definitely, as a player, you're so competitive and you're so into the game, you're not even thinking about who the referees are. And if they make a call that you don't think is right, you're probably going to challenge it. As we see the sharpshooter, Troy McLean gets a wide open one.
It's great D again, though. There was a hand up in the face, and they're forcing them deep into the shot clock here. Henry kicks it out. They're looking for an open shot here, and Taranaki just not letting them until then, and it's long off the iron, and Auntie with the rebound. And I can clarify, Aaron Bailey-Knoll is not even in the same decade as Troy McLean. He's certainly at the start of the season anyway. Aaron Bailey-Knoll 39 and Troy at 41.
Oh, wow.
No good on that occasion from Hayes Walker, but
arguably probably the 2 oldest players in the league, I would believe.
I think so. Without necessarily checking the stats, I think we're pretty safe in saying that. And I think it's brilliant.
Oh, it's awesome. It's still running around like spring chickens out there.
Yeah, and I mean, Dill, you took your career as Henry hits the 3. There's the experience again, but you know, you elongated your career and got a lot of miles out of your legs at National League level and in the NBL, and it's not just what you bring on the court, is it? And I'm now talking about McLean and Bailey-Knoll in the context of the end of your career. It's what you bring in the locker room too, isn't it?
100%. You know, they're there for as much as their impact on the court as well as their leadership and off court, and even just on the bench, you know, being able to communicate to players, and particularly so many young guys on these rosters that they can really help these young guys grow. And you know, I certainly know at the end of my career, you almost become an extension of the coaching staff.
Teamwork with the... Well, it was a good open look from Mulvihill. Needs to at least catch a bit of iron there for confidence. He didn't, so the shot clock kept counting down. Walker, oh, that looks superb the moment it left the left hand.
Well, you could hear the crowd counting down. The shot clock was down to 3 seconds. Nice pull-up from Hayes Walker.
And they continue in a very good opening vein of form here. They lead by 6. And the Saints, rest assured, they will not want their noses bloodied here by the team on the bottom of the table. That one comes up short. Rebound, Mulvihill. Plenty of physicality here, Dylan, both teams.
Yeah, there sure is. Plenty of feeling in it. Both teams are going at it. You can see that the Saints team, you know, they're at the top of the table for a reason. They're a very good team. They play hard. As we see Hayes Walker again from the corner. Marcel Jones on the glass.
Yeah, just timed that rebound superbly on the weak side. I'm not sure Samuel was aware that Jones was lurking.
No, he certainly wasn't. Jones has got those long arms and great timing.
So the Saints being asked a few questions.
You just see with Dion Brewster out of this lineup, they just don't have that, you know, that playmaking off on-ball screens. As we see Kerwin Roach.
That's nice.
Nice little turnaround jumper from the elbow. What I do like is the Saints are continuing their pressure up the floor. And this, as a player, wears you down.
Jones will have an open look for three. Is he good enough to make it? You bet he is. Oh, and Marcel Jones, a little turn and a glance at the Saints bench. There's feeling in this one.
Absolutely. Clearly, someone said something behind him on that shot. Turning around and giving a bit of friendly fire back.
Well, what has been a good start. I think you've already called it a great start. I'm with you, Dylan. This is superb now for the Taranaki Mountaineers. And will give them real belief. Why not? Why not be the giant killers here at home tonight? Roach going to work, whistle on the plate. They've got fouls to give here though, Taranaki.
Yeah, I think Aaron Bailey-Noel just gave up a foul there just to reset the defence. Smart veteran play. As you see Hayes Walker with a well-earned rest, and Julio Lasongiapi coming into the game for the first time tonight.
Yeah, you're right. That's really good clock awareness, isn't it, from Bailey-Noel. We've got fouls to give, and knowing that Roach was on the move, heading towards the... Okay, I'll foul on the floor. No shots, and 3.9 seconds. Let's see if we can close them down. Look at him. Look at him pointing. Bailey-Noel pointing at the shot clock to his young teammate.
He knows this play is going to be for Kerwin Roach.
Henry, he'll shoot from there. Can he nail it? Oh, Leon Henry. That's a heartbreaker on the buzzer. Superb from the veteran, but it still allows the Taranaki Mountaineers with the relative comfort, maybe the surprise comfort of a 6-point lead.
Well, that's such a coach killer.
Oh, yeah.
They had a great quarter and they could have held the Saints to 14 points, and that's a wide open one for Leon Henry, which is inexcusable. Straight off an on-ball, straight off an inbounds play, one pass, wide open three-point shot. Yes, for most people that was a deep three. For Leon Henry, that's just a regular three.
Yeah, and with 3 seconds on the clock, make him put it on the floor. You know, get out and get a hand up as the kids come out with the conga. And Yeti doing a great job here, and why not? The kids are loving this. Oh my goodness me!
Look at it!
Look at them emptying out of the stands. Fantastic stuff here, and it is the Airs leading the Saints 23-17 at the end of the first.
There's a lot to be said about you Kiwis. You like breaking new ground? You're the best in your field? You stand up for what you believe in. When it comes to pizza, you can't beat authenticity. Sal's, authentic New York pizza.
Well, fascinating stage of the season as we get closer to the Final Four. And, of course, get your tickets, folks. Get on the website, nz.basketball, and get your tickets for the Final Four in Porirua. And not too far up the road here from the Wellington Saints. We know that they will be there in the Final Four, but what sort of form are they going to carry into it? What do you like? What have you seen from that first quarter, Dylan Boucher?
Yeah, what I like is the aggressiveness from the Mountaineers. They're attacking the hoop, particularly Marcel Jones, obviously 10 points, and Hayes Walker sitting on 7 points. But for the Saints, Leon Henry came in and really steadied the ship for them. Obviously, he's gone 2 for 3 from the three-point line for 6 points, but he goes with 2 rebounds as well and 1 steal. But what he's done is he's come in and he's showed that these games are dangerous for a top-of-the-table team. Whenever you play the bottom of the table, you get lulled into just a casualness about you. And Leon Henry has that was Leon Henry again. Called the switch. Troy McLean will get rewarded with the steal, but Leon Henry was the one who got it, as you see them high-five there. That's just that basketball IQ and that experience. And this man here, Dion Brewster, they need him on the floor.
Here's Henry again. Oh, that was in and out. Thought about it. They get the rebound, and he puts the ball on the floor this time. They get another 14 seconds here, the Saints. Brewster.
I'll tell you what else I like. As Leo Henry gets another one that does the hula around the hoop. What I like is the Saints' offensive rebounding. Another one there. 2 on this possession so far. They had 3 on an earlier possession before.
Yeah, they had 4 offensive boards in the first quarter. Smith-Milner contested. There was a hand up and a whistle on the play. It's a 24-second violation again. Second in not even 11 minutes here. This is fantastic effort, and it is effort, isn't it, from the home team?
Yeah, it is. It's not conventional stay in front of your man and lock down. They're just getting great rotations, and they're forcing that pass to be a kick-out 3. And the Saints have turned it down a couple of times, and it's causing them shot clock pressure. And unfortunately, in that possession, it seemed to be Leon Henry on the end of every possession of the 3-point line.
Well, and that is not looking too pretty. That statistical column, the 3-point shooting, I'll go back to that in a moment or two. It's starting to give the appearance of we're just jacking shots up.
Oh,
it's a beautiful pass. The cut was great as well, wasn't it, Dylan? But what about the vision from young Davison?
Yeah, Carlin Davison is showing that he's more than just a scorer. He can pass, and he has 6 assists last week. He's certainly capable of making those passes, and he's very good at driving on the baseline, getting in the air, and he's got such good hang time with his athleticism and being able to make decisions in the air. As we see a mismatch here with Roach.
Oh, the block though. Tywin, what mismatch, Dylan Boucher? Ty always had the speed there. Telfo, and there's another block at the other end, but called for the foul. Leon Henry wants a travel on the call.
Yeah, Leon Henry's probably been hard done by on a couple of calls tonight. Scott Telford just jumping into him there. Leon Henry feels he was straight up and down. Picks up his second foul, and the one thing the Saints are a little light on is depth in the big positions. As we see, Darnay Samuel will probably come in for Leon Henry right now. But started with defense. Ty Wynyard had the mismatch. Kerwin Roach made a nice penetration. You always got to be worried when you beat a big man that they're going to challenge you at the glass.
Yeah, and listen, if Ty listens back to this, if the family, they're going to think I'm banging on about this. I spoke about it early in the season. And this is a huge positive as to why I'm bringing it up again. In the showdown last year, he doesn't make that play.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But he does this year because of the hard work he's putting in.
Yeah, he's definitely been rewarded, and, having 31 points, 17 rebounds, career numbers in the last game shows that, he's on the right progression. And if he continues to work hard, he'll continue with the results.
So they extend to 10, the Mountaineers. And that 3-point shooting number that I want to reference is 2 of 13 for the Saints to open this game. 2 of 13. Smith-Milner gets in where it's dark and it can get nasty in there.
Well, we talk a lot about, with Leon Henry, his IQ and experience. With Tohi Smith-Milner, nothing but experience on that post move. It didn't even look like he was going to shoot the ball. He was just basically going through Baxter Fenwick to draw a foul to go to the free throw line.
I'm waiting. Oh, you fouled me. Yeah, okay.
And he's such a strong player down in that low block and multi-skilled. Can score with both hands. In fact, better scorer with his left hand, even though he's right-handed inside there.
He won't like this, though. He's one of the best natural shooters for a big man in not just New Zealand, but in Australia. He can shoot the ball. He's missed a couple of free throws. I'm nitpicking, I know, but he won't be happy with that.
No, but when you're down 10, you have to make those free throws. That's how you climb back into games. And he was able to go 1 for 2 on that one, but he's probably a career 80% free throw shooter, so he won't be happy. Great defense from Neta.
Yeah, beautiful hand. Roach with the little euro. Good defense, though, this time coming from Songiape. And look at the outlet pass as well. A little step. Oh, they're playing with some razzmatazz. If that dropped, that would have brought the house down.
Yeah, Carlin Davison again, another beautiful find.
Samuel drives and asks the question of the referees, and he gets the answer that he was after.
There's a bit of drawing going on with Baxter Fenwick and Darnay Samuels. Baxter Fenwick is right now, guys are going at him. So he needs to wall up. Well, he won't be able to wall up from the sideline as he's frustrated. Gets a sub. But that's because players are going at him, and when you're a young player, you have to man up and you have to be able to stand in front of them and take charges. And he's just had 2 fouls drawn against them. You can see the frustration in the exchange between him and Trent Adam. Anytime you're showing your palms to the coach, it's generally not a good thing, AD.
Yeah, and Adam wants the last word, and fair enough, because he's the guy with the suit on.
Yep.
And you generally don't win an argument with a guy in a suit at a game of basketball if you're playing.
No, not if you're a player.
Jones is leading their offensive efforts.
Nice pass.
It was great vision again, an open look from the corner, and slow on the rebound. Saints, is there a push? There is. Or is that just a fall out over the...
No, the quarter foul by the look of it.
So this is in contrast to the first quarter. The Airs are just racking up a few early fouls here.
Yeah, that's on Carlin Davison, that one. Those ones will start coming back to hurt you. Just little rebounding fouls like that, and that was just effort. Just got out efforted on the efforted. That's a great word, but he got outworked on that rebound, and then gave up the foul.
Roach, look at the hustle from Taranaki. This is a big ask to play this high-tempo defense throughout the 40, but they're going to give it a go. Roach, again, they can't make the 3 ball. They're going to have to go deep into their bench, aren't they, Taranaki, playing this style of defense?
They certainly are, and I just get the feeling, beautiful drive, Marcel Jones. He has those long strides. I get the feeling this is part of the scouting report from Trent Adam, that they just want to give up contested threes. Maybe they think and run the other way. Yeah, I get the feeling that they maybe think the Saints team is not as good at three-point shooting as what, they probably think they are. So force them to take contested three-point shots and make sure you rebound and then run.
Hayes Walker. Oh, almost a backcourt violation there.
Yeah, I actually think it was.
He went, the ball didn't.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that saved him there. Can't make the bucket. And the margin is 8. The Saints behind. Samuel from the corner comes up short. And is that just accepting that too early on the offense?
Well, again, Darnay Samuels is shooting the ball incredibly well.
He has been, yep.
So for him, that's not a bad shot. He makes those regular, beautiful cuts, Scott Telfer.
Foul won't result in a 3-point play, but it will result in Telfer going to the line to try and earn 2.
Yeah, Smith-Milner getting his money's worth on that one. But Telfer, beautiful cut, nice feed into Marcel Jones. Darnay Samuels doubled down as we see them, really, really a lot of heavy breathing going on with the Saints team. And again,
Is it the scout?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be the smart scout. Make them run, make them have to use their young guys on the bench. And they've got some talented young guys on their bench that we haven't seen yet. And the likes of Gold, Sam Gold can come in and play some valuable minutes.
Miller Joes,
yep. He can come in and play some valuable minutes for them. But Zico Coronel very rarely calls on his bench in these early stages of games.
Well, this is great stuff if you're a Taranaki fan, of course. Not so good if you're watching from the capital. But I just think it's great for the league, if you're a neutral, to see this sort of a contest between top and bottom. The question is Ty Wynyard also just looking for oxygen? But if you can see this sort of a contest, Taranaki got nothing to play for here other than pride. They're nowhere near the conversation for the Final Four.
That crowd right there is what they're playing for, playing for these fans coming back week in, week out, coming back for bringing them back next season to become season members. That's why they're playing right now, and that's why they're playing so hard. And Trent Adams got these boys fired up. I just want to make special mention to Rangamari Mita. He's come on and he's played some great D. He's got, if you looked at his stats right now, he doesn't have great stats, but I tell you what, he made an impact when he was in the game. He's earned himself a rest now, but he came in, he got deflections, he was disruptive out there. That's what you want from your bench players coming in, bringing that energy.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Dylan. I don't know much, if anything, about this young man. Can you tell us much about him?
No, I believe this is his first season in the Cells NBL. He hasn't seen a lot of minutes this season, but again, as a youngster, you just got to keep working, and when you get those opportunities, come in and make the most of it. And with Saints losing an import a couple of weeks ago, he's obviously been called upon to play some more minutes. As has Ezra Vaingafa. He's actually had another good game. He's been very good for this team as well. But again, these main 5 that we see right here are going to be playing a lot of the minutes, and add Leon Henry to that mix as well.
Smith-Milner too heavy off the glass, and he looks towards the referee, and this is the sort of pressure, the sort of frustration. The shots aren't dropping. They're losing a game that everyone, all the stats, all the neutrals would have said you should win this going away, as Davison tries the 3 ball, no good. Off the iron, Roach pulls in the rebound, but frustration starts to build even in such a very good roster as the Wellington Saints.
Yeah, well, the Saints are, this team normally easily 20 points a quarter, and right now they're struggling. They're, only got 21, under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, so they're not scoring at the rate they normally score at. But the Mountaineers are probably on target about where they would normally be at this stage of the game. Just another smart play. Great pass, Dion Brewster. Tohi Smith-Milner using his length over Aaron Bailey-Noel will go to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
Coming into this, Brewster at 20.9, Roach 16.7, Samuel at 15.9, their leading scorers, all capable of a 30-pack as well in the blink of an eye. And in terms of the rebounding, the work on the boards, Smith-Milner brings in, looking at defensive rebounds only, but brings in 5 a game, and Roach is a great rebounding guard as well. So it's this 5, as you say, Dylan. The stats bear that out, don't they? That this is the 5 on the floor here now for the Saints that has to do the majority of the lifting. Oh, goodness. He's had another little glance as well, Marcel Jones. Something or someone has fired him up.
I'll tell you what, if Marcel Jones can continue this hot form from the 3-point line, they're going to be very tough to beat tonight. As we see offensive rebounds again, Smith-Milner. No Ty Wynyard in the game. Just that lack of size inside. Offensive boards are hurting them right now, as we see great defensive pressure from Kenneth Tuffin.
Good composure too from Walker, never panics. He got it over with about a second to spare. That's almost a trademark move, isn't it, from Davison? He just got a little tied up, couldn't get the shot away.
Yeah, nice turn the corner, got round Darnay Samuels, just wasn't able to finish on Tohi Smith-Milner, as we see Dion Brewster doing what he does so well. Splits the on-ball screen, draws the foul on Mulvihill.
Yeah, and we talked about the scout, and maybe Taranaki are looking to make the Saints run an extra couple of kilometres in this one, but it's also starting to have an effect on the Mountaineers. Trent Adams recognised it, because that looked like a tied foul. You had Bailey-Noel and who was it that got called for the foul? Mulvihill. They both just had a little lazy reach in, didn't they?
Yeah, just a half a step behind, half a beat behind, and you just saw Marcel Jones before he walked into that timeout talking to the refs and pointing at the foul count, because right now the Mountaineers are under the pump from the foul count. And as Kenneth Tuffin walked off, he had a conversation with the referees about being pushed off by Hayes Walker on the last possession. So, if you're sorely mistaken if this game means nothing. This game means so much to both these teams, and Saints want to, continue that top of the table run, and this Mountaineers just want to reward their fans and to show them how hard they're playing.
Yeah, they're 2 in a row. They beat the Jets last week. There's the Yeti. You and I both responded to a poll that I imagine will see the light of day in the next few days, but asking about, various things in the Sal's National League, including the best mascot. And I put a challenge out there. I said, listen, I'm not prepared to vote for one. I haven't seen a trampoline dunk. I haven't seen any aerobatics. Yeah, but the Yeti does a pretty good job here, doesn't he?
I'll tell you what, you give the Yeti a tram, he's doing some dunks, I guarantee you.
Get the tramp. Come on. Bring it, Taranaki. Bring it, Yeti.
That's a challenge. Mountaineers management, I hope you're listening. We want to see a trampoline next week.
These fans deserve a trampoline for the Yeti.
If you can go a 500-strong conga line, you can certainly go a trampoline on the court. As we see Dion Brewster step up and knock down his first free throw.
Yeah, and these are critical minutes now, aren't they, for Taranaki? That you feel that they're playing on emotion, playing on adrenaline, as well as a very good scout, but they need to maintain it. Have they got the depth, and have they got the fitness levels, the out-and-out fitness levels to maintain this against a very good Saints roster?
We've just seen in that one possession, they've really turned up the defence now.
Jones backing in, double team comes. Mulvihill left alone, kicks it out. He'll shoot that all day long. Baxter Fenwick, that is his go-to.
Yeah, absolutely. He's normally a corner three guy, but that time there wheeled out nicely with the penetration from Mulvihill. No one challenged it, came out, knocked down the three.
Lead out to 12, or Jones in the air. Smith-Milner with the drive, Tuffin. Well, he waited for a contest.
Yeah, that one.
He said, I don't want the open one. Get a hand in my face and I'll shoot it over you.
Well, Kenneth Tuffin knows this team well. Played for them in the showdown. Probably knows the bench well. There might have even been some chatter. He may have just waited for the defence to close out so he could end up turning the corner. Oh, Leon Henry, great D. Bailey Noel gave him a good old power forward push. Oh, Fenwick gave that one up too easy. Oh, Dion Brewster lost the handle.
Maintains possession though.
This is a mismatch, Fenwick on Brewster. There need to be some help here.
Bailey Noel on the switch now has Dion Brewster open. Look here, Henry got out there pretty quickly. Mulvihill, they're chasing these three balls down. Taranaki, they can't bring in the rebounds though. These offensive boards for the Saints, you think they're going to pay a price at some stage for the Taranaki Mountaineers. Great D, Bailey Noel this time. He hits the deck, kicked out, and I mean kicked out.
Wow, that's another great defensive possession by the Ears. Bailey Noel putting his body on the line. I'll tell you what, they are playing the scout perfectly. Forcing contested jumpers, closing out hard. Right now it's playing into their favour, but what they've got to do is tidy up those offensive rebounds, and they've got to be a bit more polished down this offensive end. And having no Ty Wynyard in the game, a lot relies on the likes of Marcel Jones. With Ty Wynyard back in now, look to see the ball go through him on on-ball. Here we go, on cue.
And it was the play, but it was well read by Roach. Gets a hand in there, and Brewster, that won't count. Smith-Milner with the follow-up, but the foul called on the play. I was going to acknowledge that we saw in the space of 30 seconds a couple of no calls. First, Leon Henry went down, took some contact. And then at the other end of the floor, we saw Bailey Noel go down. Similar story. No call, no charge, no flop. You happy with that from the refs if they're consistent?
Yeah, as long as they're consistent, that's all you want. As long as it's at both ends, I think players will feel frustrated. Like Leon Henry on that one probably felt really frustrated, but then Aaron Bailey Noel probably felt equally as frustrated. So as long as the players can understand it is happening at both ends, then we'll continue to play on.
The Saints are doing a really good job here of just staying in the contest. It seems ridiculous I'm saying that, but that's been the nature of it.
Well, that's what good teams do. They just chip away at it. Dion Brewster's just finding ways to get to the free throw line. Just chip away at it from free throws as we see the ball go through Ty Wynyard. Nice look.
It was a bullet of a pass, wasn't it? But Tuffin got a hand in there. He almost lost a couple of fingers in the process.
Yeah. Tuffin brings a good defensive toughness to the Saints team, as well as able to knock down threes. He's that classic 3-and-D player.
Taranaki need to just find a little offense here. They've gone a little quiet. That lead was 12. It's down to 6. Jones, good D from Roach.
Oh, great pass.
Well, good hands from Wynyard as well. That's not the easiest of finishes. He was still a distance from the hoop.
Yeah, and that was in traffic. Tell you what, these two work well together, Marcel Jones and Ty Wynyard. As you see, Smith-Milner wants this inside. Thinks he's... Oh, nice. Behind the back. Kerwin Roach wasn't equal to it, unfortunately. As we see it slowed down here. Oh, wide open. Needed a better pass.
Fenwick, Wynyard going to work. What a pass that is. And the block, what's the call here?
Oh, wow. Leon Henry is beside himself right now because that'll be his third foul. It looked like he pinned that clean.
Yeah, I thought initially they might have called goaltend, but it is a foul, so they've seen some contact.
As we see, Darnay Samuels will check in for Leon Henry. Not before he has a quick word to the referee.
So Fenwick will go to the line, and Henry will indeed have to go and have a seat.
I'm no lip reader, but I'm pretty sure Leon Henry said, I got the ball, ask him. And I'm pretty sure Baxter Fenwick's not going to answer that question. He's happy to go to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, the worst thing, Dylan, I'm sure you've done it in your day, the worst thing is to turn around and say, yeah, he's right.
That's right, exactly, yeah. That's actually something I would say, to be honest with you.
Yeah. He's right, ref. It's just extended again to 9.
And that hurts because Leon Henry, he plays a really good experienced role for this team and also knockdown three-point shooter.
Yeah, well, we've already seen that if some of the other starters are going to have their trouble scoring tonight, of course it happens, then they need to go to Leon Henry off the bench. Dane Samuel, lovely movements in the paint.
He's got just such beautiful footwork. He's made a nice drive off the dribble. Great job by Ty Wynyard, cut them off, but just put them in spin cycle, floated to the middle. Nice little finger roll over the rim. As we see Kieran Roach pick up another foul. That will be his second foul, I believe. Fouls are starting to mount up a little bit for these Saints starters.
Into the last minute of the first half. Do not adjust your sets. That score, bottom left, is correct.
These two young point guards going at it.
And Songiape, again they go to Ty Wynyard. That's a long way out, but he's found his range. Superb finish. So pretty, so smooth when he gets that right-hand hook going.
Oh, that right-hand hook, he's got range on it too, as we just saw there.
Prewster, they have defended Prewster superbly.
I'll tell you what, Telfer is like a pinball out there. And gets the ball thrown at him from Dane Samuel.
Yeah, this is the frustration. And Samuel's got to be careful. That's easily called a tech.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. I mean, they need him out there right now as he's clutching at his knee. Now he gets a warning from the referee. MC doing a great job getting this crowd into it. Telfer was a little bit hard done by in that one, I think. First of all, he got screened by Toy Smith-Milner, bounced off him into Ty Wynyard, who pushed him into Dane Samuels, who hooked him with his elbow, and he got called for the foul.
And this is a little bit symptomatic of their offensive challenges tonight, the Saints. The halftime reading won't be pretty when it comes to the box score and free throws. And in a contest that Dylan Boucher's already described as little tense and little tight, they need to be making those freebies. Dane Samuel goes 1 of 2. What's the call here?
A foul on Ty Wynyard.
So before the shot?
No, it was on a rebound. Tohi Smith-Milner got in early, got inside him, and Ty Wynyard did his best to try and get back in front of him by using his body, and he's been called for the foul. I don't think anyone knows what's going on right now.
Well,
as we see a timeout called.
And the basketball's been put on the baseline, so surely they'll be going to the free throw line again.
Yeah, you would think they'd be, they're in the bonus, going to the free throw line. And Ty Wynyard picks up his, I would say that's his second foul.
So nothing too dramatic. You'd certainly take him out for the last 18 seconds, wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%. And,
albeit it's probably 18 seconds that they will have the basketball in their possession after the free throws.
You just don't want to get an offensive foul, and they'll go pick and roll, and and also you need him for the rebounding on the free throw. There's a missed free throw, so it's not a guy you want off the floor at a time like this.
So we alluded to it earlier, and I'm delighted to say that we're not going to have a whole lot of time to bring those tall black conversations into this, because the basketball is going to demand our full attention. But there are some names out here on the floor. Tohi Smith-Milner, Dion Prewster, Dane Samuel, the youngster, is his time now to go to the Asia Cup. And for the Taranaki Mountaineers, Ty Wynyard, surely he's in the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all these guys, I've no doubt, are on head coach Peter Cameron's mind of selection.
Carlin Davison as a shot?
Has to be on the long list anyway. And, the way he's playing and availability, who knows? This is the tough thing when you're a head coach. You've got to make these decisions.
PC, if you're watching, just give Dylan a call. He's got a roster all sorted.
You're always tough when you're head coach of a national team, and sometimes there's guys who are just in great form, and you can't leave them out of the team. And there's guys who are, what they're capable of internationally, may not be bringing it on the local stage, but you can count on them on the international stage.
Yeah, and a couple of injuries as well around at the moment. So we think of Jack Salt, the continued issues he's had. Max Darling, we believe, might have been scratched for this weekend for the Rams. But let's have a look at this final possession perhaps for Taranaki Mountaineers. Jones wants to finish with perhaps another something a little bit special. Hayes Walker with that rainbow three, and that is special. And that wraps up a quite stunning first half of action here in Taranaki. And it is the home team, I kid you not, they lead the top of the table Saints by 8 going into the main break. We'll be back in a moment or two to dissect all the detail and take you through all the stats and try and analyse just why this is occurring. I can tell you a big part of it is just pure effort from the Taranaki Mountaineers. They lead the Saints. It is half-time here in New Plymouth. Well, this is spectacular colour. The youth of Taranaki here playing their part in the entertainment. Some sort of a dance-off, is it, Dylan? I don't know. What's the lingo?
Is this the new jump jam or something?
Essentially, the one music track. And here we go. Now it's the turn of the school on the left. I do apologise, folks. I do not have the names of the schools here.
They are doing a great job, though.
It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant.
All we need is a trampoline in the middle with the Yeti jumping off the trampoline.
Flying through the air. Let's have a look at this. I'm just entranced by this, but tell us the story of the first half with the stats here as we have a look. Jones and Walker, they fired up. Wynyard's been good as well. He's been very efficient. No Saints in double figures, but they are starting to get output from multiple players.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Ears are playing with fire, giving them, open 3-point shots, and they haven't knocked them down to date.
Yeah, and this is one you wanted to focus on. That's the rebound count individually, but the offensive boards for the Mountaineers, it's got to be a concern, and Trent Adam must be talking about boxing out.
Yeah, with that scrambling style of defense they're playing, it is leaving offensive rebounds open. And right now, the Saints have picked up 8 offensive rebounds, which is far too many for a half.
And the Taranaki Mountaineers are sharing the basketball around, and for the Saints, it's just getting stuck a little. And we've seen that with a couple of 24-second violations, and they're just not in rhythm.
No, just a lot of ISO ball coming from the Saints, and it's, they usually score a lot out of their sets, as we see their low assist numbers, but they have been able to turn the ball over, as we see Dion Preuster's got 2 to his name, and then a few other players have got just 1 steal.
And the foul count, for what it's worth, it was 12-8 when I last looked. Dylan, can you confirm that, as we see a reminder about the and one splash for cash? The team with the most threes made in a game each round wins $500. We'll keep an eye on that through the evening, but we saw players talking to referees about foul counts going off to the dressing sheds. Was 12-8 the count?
12-8's right. Mountaineers have got 12, and no one's got more than 2 fouls. Telfer, Wynyard, Davison, and Fenwick, and Bailey Noel have all got 2 fouls apiece. And only foul trouble with the Saints is Leon Henry on 3 and Kerwin Roach on 2. So they can't afford for Leon Henry to pick up his 4th early on, and they also can't afford for Kerwin Roach to pick up his 3rd. But in saying that, I felt like Ezra Vaingafa has come in and provided a good spark for them, as has Rangamari Mita as well, has come in and played a great role. So, getting good contributions from their bench players right now. Zico Coronel, will he have the confidence to be able to go to these guys early?
Yeah, and he may have to. He may have to at the half here as the entertainment continues. We're back with a little more entertainment in the typical basketball fashion, because the Saints have, not a mountain to climb, it's a little hill. It's not quite as big as that beautiful mountain that hovers over this town of New Plymouth. It's the Airs leading 45-36 at the half. Yeah, the fun continues, folks. This is the voting. This is the voting stage of the dance-off here at half-time. It has just been delightful and a wonderful example of just how strong this Sal's National Basketball League is, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes right through the communities around New Zealand. And remember, this is a home game for the team at the bottom of the table. It's superb, isn't it, Dill?
It's awesome. It's awesome to see. But I tell you what, as a player, right now when you're wanting to get out there and warm up, particularly the Saints, and you've got a bunch of kids sitting in the keyway where you're wanting to warm up, very distracting. That'll add to their frustration.
Yeah, but if the home court MC's got any now, he's just delaying this even more.
Yeah, probably if he was smart, he would have cleared one end and let the Mountaineers warm up. That's what you call good old-fashioned home court advantage. As we see, the Mountaineers have started warming up. The Saints are trickling in from the locker room, which I'd imagine Coach Zico Coronel has probably had a lot of firm words to say to them. And let's see how they respond. And this team is a talented team, and you know, you're only seeing 6 of them out there warming up right now, so where are the rest of the team, you know?
And well, I'm going to struggle to describe it as warming up, Dylan.
Well, 3 of them are sitting on the bench there, you know, so they're clearly not warming up, but
they're shooting the basketball here. Taranaki, by contrast, there's movement, there's a pattern to what they're doing. It's interesting. I mean, you make those observations as an observer sitting back, and what I see there is a pretty disgruntled, frustrated team here with the Saints. They're not all out on the floor, and they're not on the same page.
No, it certainly looks that way, but this is a team that knows how to win. That's the reason they're on top of the table. So, you know, as long as they're switched on mentally, it doesn't actually matter what the physical warm-up's doing out there. So let's see how they respond to Coach Coronel's words at halftime.
Oh, absolutely. And their history, we talked about it earlier, their rich history. You know, one of the questions asked, and I don't want to give the whole poll away here, Justin Nelson will be very upset, but one of the questions asked was, what gym do you reckon is the most intimidating to go into? I'm happy to share that my answer was the Saints. And it's not because of the venue, but it's because of the Saints. You're going into the home court of a team that has no equal over the past 10 years or so, and longer in this league.
Yeah, in my 20-plus years of playing in this league, not once did I walk into a Wellington Saints venue and think, we've got an easy game on our hands tonight. It was always going to be you had to bring your A game to be able to get the win. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to play one season for the Saints. And, you know, you feel that as a player. You feel the expectation, and the crowd expects you to win games. So
I was going to say, we're only there 1 year because they just kept booing you even though you're in a Saints uniform.
They love you when you're in a Saints uniform, believe you me.
So they have a job to do here, and they're certainly well capable of doing it.
Yeah, the Wellington Saints are the Perth Wildcats of the Sal's NBL. They've certainly a rich history of either winning championships or being right there or thereabouts, and certainly one of the most consistent performers over a long period of time.
They come into this one with an 11-2 records. Taranaki Mountaineers, I said you put the line through it, it's mirror image stuff. They are 2-11. So going into the Final Four with the top seed next to your name certainly carries some advantage, and they'll be desperate to achieve that, knowing that the likes of the Sharks and the Hawks are still within touch if they were to trip up here, if they were to stub their toe.
That was just a lazy foul from Ty Wynyard right there. Dion Prewster doing a good job turning the corner and attacking, but Ty Wynyard just left the coat hanger out there and caught him, picks up his 3rd foul at the start of the 3rd quarter. Now Trent Adams got this dilemma. Do you leave the big fella in and trust him and hope he doesn't pick up his 4th foul? Or do you sub him out now and hold him for at least 5 minutes to go in the quarter? It's a gamble either way.
And the free throw woes continue for the Saints. They were, I say woes, and again I'm looking for them to live up to their very own high standards. They were 11 of 16, and 5 points missed at the free throw line is 5 too many when you're trailing by 9 at the break. Who's that one called on?
Kerwin Roach picks up his 3rd foul, just again similar to Ty Wynyard, just a lazy arm in there with Scott Telfer on the handoff. Now Zico Coronel, does he play with fire and leave Kerwin Roach out there, or does he trust in Ezra Vaingafo and bring him into the game?
Jones to Wynyard on Smith Milner. That's been a really good battle, and on that occasion, Smith Milner keeps him far enough away from the hoop. Brewster, if he lights it up in the second half, look out, because he's been largely contained.
Oh, wow, they've given him the 3.
They did.
Ty Wynyard picks up his 4th foul by the look of it. I hope the live stats have got this wrong for Coach Trent Adam, but that could be Ty Wynyard's 4th foul.
Well, and I think it is. It was a cheap one as well. Davison put the hand up to try and claim it, but I think that is called on Wynyard when Brewster just made the drive to go past him into the paint.
I don't understand that. You know, they're giving him the 3-point shot, and then when he decides to up fake, then jumping at it, and then having to... Oh, another offensive rebound. Just miscommunication.
Well, that's almost not an offensive rebound. It's almost just a turnover. They basically had possession, and this time they do and keep it. Jones, they have to play without Wynyard. That's taken a little touch off Brewster, so Taranaki Mountaineers possession. Ty Wynyard just confirming he does have 4 personals, so you would think, Dylan, he sits now for the rest of this quarter.
Absolutely. Carlin Davison doing a great job attacking Kerwin Roach, trying to pick up his 4th foul.
Saints, they will be composed. There will be no panic. They will look to just eke away at this deficit and start to cast their rather large shadow over the Taranaki Mountaineers. Good little finger roll there. Just the purchase on the basketball from Dane Samuel.
Yeah, nice soft touch, Dane Samuel. He's so good attacking off the dribble. And this is the dilemma. Oh, beautiful pass, Scott Telfer. Aaron Bailey, no, right down the middle. No one at home.
The veteran slashing into the paint.
Just talking about Dane Samuel, he's shooting the ball so well. He's got to find that balance of 3-point shooting and attacking. I don't believe there's many people that can stay in front of him off the dribble. He needs to really go to that, as we see Dion Brewster with a beautiful finish. He's starting to get himself going now.
Yeah, and that was tough because Davison was airborne, trying to stop him at the hoop, but he put it high off the glass. Bailey Knoll around Smith Milner. Davison hadn't got there early enough, had he, to get his feet set. Shot clock counting down. Davison, step back 3, hand in the face. Davison can't make it. Look pretty good.
Yeah, that's the scout. Dane Samuel staying true to the scout, making him shoot a contested 3 rather than getting on the rim, which he's so good at.
Roach, Walker defending him.
Mismatch inside with Smith Milner wants it. Hayes Walker on him.
They kick it out, so Tuffin from the corner. That's where he lives, and he'll make that all day long.
Yeah, here they come, the Saints. 3-point game.
That is Tuffin's happy place. And they were patient here. And importantly, Dylan, they asked questions inside. They went in, kicked it out.
That's right, inside out. Build the house from the inside out. It would be refreshing for Zico Coronel to see the execution and the knockdown 3 at the end of it.
It's a shot they just haven't been making. 3 of 18, and my live stats will update in a moment, and that'll be 4 of 19. So still not startling figures, but importantly for a team that's perhaps not shot the ball well in the first half, you've got to have the memory of a goldfish. Just forget it, take the next shot, and if you can play the second half and change those stats and finish up at, I don't know, 40-45%, then it means you'll have had a very good second half, and likely they might win the game.
Yeah, well, that's right. And you know, you saw in that picture just before, had Leon Henry and Kerwin Roach, both of them in the game, both on 3 fouls. Now, fouls can start to become a factor. As we see, Ty Wynyard will not see the floor probably until the 4th quarter even. Maybe they may put him in and risk it, but he probably won't see it till the 4th. That's a big part of your offense and defense gone.
Yeah, and they don't have the depth in the bigs, do they? So it's not like Wynyard rolls out and someone else rolls on. They just do not have that presence off the bench.
No, and Aaron Bailey-Knoll will bring the physicality, but he just doesn't have the size of Ty Wynyard. You know, he's standing at probably 6'4", 6'5", maybe 6'6". You know, but going against Tuhi Smith-Milner, who's 6'9", you know, long arms. Now's a chance with the smaller Saints lineup out there for them. Oh, as we see a turnover.
Oh, these are worrying moments here for the Taranaki Mountaineers. They've allowed the Saints to come out and charge into that lead of the Mountaineers, and now they turn it over cheaply.
And this is what pressure does. Eventually it wears you down. And Carlin Davison that time wanting to curl. Marcel Jones on the wrong page, thinking he was just going to pop out for the ball.
They need a stop here, you would think, Taranaki, just to lift those confidence levels that are waning somewhat. And there's another foul given away. Prewster asking the question, and Telfa's been so close all night, and that time all over him.
Yep, 3 fouls for Telfa now, so he's going to be starting to play with fire. And, you know, when you're marking Dion Prewster, Dion Prewster's been very smart at drawing fouls. Look for him to drive and go through the arms of Telfa.
Well, this was the question that I was asking from pretty early on, as Roach drains the triple and the Saints draw level. Here come the Saints.
We talked about how lackadaisical their warm-up was. They've certainly come out mentally ready.
Yeah, they're just reserving energy, looking after the bodies for the real action. As Walker for Jones, that's a tough look. He makes it look easy, though.
Yeah, Hayes Walker turned down an open 3 there. I'd like to see him shoot that one, as we see Telfa being the pest that he is.
Prewster knows. Prewster will know that the guy in front of him right now is on 3 fouls.
He will know that for sure, as will this man, Leon Henry.
He's lost the handle, has Henry, as well as his footing. Jones, though, returns the favour, kicks out at the advertising sign.
Just frustrating, you know, they finally get a steal. Leon Henry falls to the ground, they get a turnover. Carlin Davison kicks it ahead, but Marcel Jones, I think, was deciding what dunk he was going to do before he actually caught the ball.
It's never a fair battle when the advertising hoardings are made of corkflute. the risk is you kick out at one and you find it's the only one made of wood.
Yep, or it flicks and hits you in the shin with the sharp end of the corkflute. Oh, great defense.
Beautiful steal.
Look
and
out.
The pass.
Look
Here we
out.
go. Upstairs and slams it home, Davison.
What a luxury when you've got Carlin Davison on the front of your fast break. You know, just throw it ahead to him. Let him put a highlight reel out there.
And they needed that. They needed that because the Saints come rushing back at them, and now the Airs extend again by 4.
They started with their defense. The Songi Api getting a good hand as Leon Henry has to force up a...
Yeah, he was never set, was he?
Nah. But I'll tell you what, I've seen him many times make those ones before.
Look at the Songi Ape. Just some energy, some speed, and reaching in
that's
there.
an and one.
Oh, and Jones, he is wound up for this one like a spinning top as we get another look at young Carlin Davison, the 17-year-old, New Plymouth Boys High School.
The question is, who have they called the foul on? Because
I thought it was Tuffin.
Oh, I hope it was, because no, maybe it's Kerwin Roach, because he's heading to the bench. That would be his 4th foul if that's the case.
Yeah, I just, at first glance, I thought perhaps it was Tuffin. And again, I'm just waiting for my live stats to update, Dylan, but still looks like 3 on Roach. But importantly here, the Taranaki Mountaineers have found a good little patch. Leon Henry, what have they ruled?
Oh, wow. They have called that a goaltend when Leon Henry...
But that's not in the... That's not in the cylinder, is it?
No, he's allowed to...
It's out on the rim.
He's allowed to hit it off. Unless they deem that he hit the ring with his hand, then they can deem that a goaltend. See the frustration in Dion Prewster's face. Leon Henry just smiling about it. A lot of frustration there. He knows he doesn't want to give up a technical foul or anything. He knows they're right back in this game.
Well, and the issue there, Dylan, is the 1 point for the free throw turned into 2.
That's right.
So that's really hurting them. Good defense. Davison stayed right in front of Samuel. Samuel's having a word with the referee, and at the other end of the floor, Lasongi Ape drives away. This is a superb response from Taranaki.
Well, put that down to Julio Lasongi Ape, bring in the tempo. Carlin Davison getting out and running. Good pack team defense. Oh, another one from Marcel Jones. Well, that could be an unsportsmanlike.
Well, the initial call was just
all the bench is calling for it.
Regular foul, but it's the referee we need to see with that signal, as we see again through Leo Lasongi-Ape. It's a really good finish. It wasn't as though he was completely unattended here. And it's he that's getting all the pats on the back. They recognise that he's brought the energy off the bench when they needed it most.
And I can't reiterate how important that is when you're a young player coming off the bench. Just bring energy on defence and it'll turn into offence. As we've seen there, 3 steals in a row, turning down to either converting in points or drawing fouls.
Just to go back, I can confirm that you're right. It was it was Tuffin that was called, so Roach is still on the 3.
Yeah.
So they did call it on Tuffin reaching in earlier, but wow, this is a wonderful, wonderful change in momentum for the home side here, because you just felt that the Saints had done the hard yards. They'd surged, they drew back level at 47, and suddenly 9 unanswered points, and the airs extend again.
Yeah, well, you felt like the Saints had got the stranglehold of this game, but you know, Leo Lasongi-Ape has come in and just changed the tempo of the game. And I love that. I love that a 19-year-old kid can come in and change the tempo of a game for a professional team. That's what you do off the bench.
And remember, they're doing this without their big man, without the presence of Ty Wynyard, who sits with 4 fouls.
That's right.
So we haven't cited the referee, and given there are no Saints players around the key here for the first free throw, it may well have been called unsportsmanlike, but of course it's whether they move now, and they don't. So this is going to be shots in possession for the Airs.
Well, the hold gets even deeper. It looked like, I could see what Dion Brewster was trying to do. In the old days, that would just be a normal foul. But these days, if there's a clear line to the basket, they call that an unsportsmanlike foul.
And no question, that was the case. It was the right call.
Yeah, it was absolutely the right call.
Certainly, Marcel Jones is turning the clock back. Not that he's not capable. He's having another superb season for Taranaki, but with in excess of 20 points. What's he on? 23, I think, at the moment. Marcel Jones. He's really starting to lead this Taranaki team. Take this game by the scruff of the neck. Henry with an interception there. That's vital for the Saints.
How long can Marcel Jones keep going at the scoring rate that he goes at? He just finds a way to score and rebound. He's a walking double-double. Another steal.
Oh, but then in desperately trying to keep it in, he turns it over. Lasongi-Ape, and almost made to pay. He gets the rebound. Oh, and he's kicked it away again.
You can't fault this kid's effort right now. He is leaving it all out there right now for his team. It's got to be infectious for his teammates. Everybody needs to get on that same page as Lasongi-Ape right now.
Dylan, in a COVID world, you can't say that. We need to strike those sorts of words from our vocab. I don't mean to make light of that situation, folks, but we've got to sometimes see the funny side, don't we, even in the darkest days. Fenwick trying to get out there on Smith-Milner, and the moment he missed, he was in trouble there, Baxter Fenwick.
Absolutely. Smith-Milner, just smart, slow-mo move on Carlin Davison. Carlin looked like he pulled out of wanting to block that shot, but still got called for a foul.
Yeah, he reckons he did pull out, but foul's been called.
This is when high basketball IQ players come to the floor. Smith-Milner understands the referees are blowing a whistle a lot now, and attack the hoop, draw a foul, go to the free throw line for the N1. The old-fashioned way.
And it also just takes the momentum out of the game, just slows proceedings down. Taranaki been on a real run. And it just takes the air out of the stadium. But again,
Baxter Fenwick's got to do a better job boxing out there. And then you can't fault Baxter Fenwick. Went for the steal on Tohi Smith-Milner, missed it, put his team under all kinds of pressure. But that's the Lasongi-Ape effect. He felt the energy from Lasongi-Ape and wanted to give that maximum energy himself.
12 of 18 now from the line. Dylan, am I being too harsh? It's not the worst stat in the world, is it? But it's the players that are missing. Smith-Milner, Samuel, those guys are normally lockdown shooters at the charity stripe.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys are almost automatic when they step to the free throw line. You're seeing the Saints pressure, causing the Airs to turn the ball over once again without getting a shot up.
Roach drives, takes control of proceedings, can't make the bucket though. Mulvihill grabs a vital rebound. They've given up far too many O-boards already in this one.
Well, Carlin Davison didn't want to get his 4th foul there, so he pulled out of that block shot. Did enough to get Kieran Roach off. Oh, great cut. Kieran Roach doesn't want to pick up his 4th foul. Oh, and he does.
Oh, and it's out on the perimeter as well. So this will be 3 shots for Lasongi Ape.
And 4 fouls for Kieran Roach. As he earns a sub, Dion Brewster has no rest and has to come back in the game.
Well, the Saints are being tested. Their championship credentials being tested by the team that looks as far up as they possibly can from the longest distance on the Sal's National League table, the Taranaki Mountaineers. And how good is this, I say again, for this league, for this competition? Not much fun if you're a Saints fan.
No, it's not much fun right now, but there's a long way to go in this game. Absolute legend of the game, yelling out there in the top right of your screen, Stevie Campbell in the grey hoodie. Cheering on his old team, legend of the NBL. As you'll see, extended pressure from Francis Mulvihill.
Smith Milner, Samuel, have they gone a little gun shy from 3-point range? Looking for looks closer to the hoop. Oh, that is superb. How good is he finishing through contact? He wanted the and one.
That's exactly whose hands he wanted in with the shot clock running down. Beautiful finish on Marcel Jones. Oh, beautiful pass.
Couldn't finish though, and Bailey Knoll put some pressure on the O-board, couldn't grab that either. So the Saints dodge a bullet there. Toughen. Smith Milner.
Got to go through Brewster right now. He's feeling good.
And he'll drive, will he? They send the double team, and that's a cheap one given up by Bailey Knoll. And he just looks to get under the skin of Brewster by tipping the ball away.
Yeah, Brewster's not going to be too worried about that. He knows he's got a mismatch with Aaron Bailey Knoll on him and does the right thing, puts his head down, draws the foul. Bailey Knoll goes to his 3rd foul of the game. These fouls are starting to mount up, particularly on their bigs. Davison on 3, Telfer on 3, Wynyard on 4. And now Bailey Knoll picks up his 3rd foul. Baxter Fenwick also got 2 fouls. Marcel Jones has just got the 1 foul, so they need Marcel Jones out there.
That, though, is maybe part of the game plan. That Trent Adams drawn up the scout. He said, we're going to go at these guys. We're going to get in their faces, and yes, we're going to play a high-risk strategy. And maybe a high foul count is part of that. They're running the gauntlet, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Saints have done a better job this half attacking the rim, not just settling for 3-point shots, as Lasongi Ape.
Oh, my goodness me. Not even in your own house. Drew Leo, Smith Milner. Oh, and then he has the assist. What a 60 seconds that is.
And Dane Samuels tells Julio Lasongi Ape all about it on the other end.
Wow. Both ends of the floor. The Saints just flex the biceps.
If that's on Leon Henry, I believe that'll be his 4th foul. It is. Oh, I tell you what, these fouls are coming to play.
Oh, can we just reflect on that couple of plays, though? How big was the defensive effort from Smith Milner?
I'll tell you what, Smith Milner was ballsy, because I've seen Lasongi Ape put people on a poster in that position. He went up, challenged him, got it clean, led the break, got the ball, made a beautiful bounce pass to Dane Samuels, who dunked it on Lasongi Ape at the other end.
And he let him know.
Oh, a bit of friendly fire. I mean, Dane Samuels is one of those guys, an energy player. You know, he loves to play off the crowds, you know, the opposition team. He'll be getting himself going by talking trash.
And free throws right then as Wynyard's back on the floor.
With 14 seconds to go, risky move, Trent Adam. He's rolling the dice.
Well, in fact, our time was out on our graphic, Dylan, so it doesn't matter. It's still a risky move. Smith Milner, can he pop the 3-ball? He can. It's suddenly coming right for the Saints. Here they come again.
Look at the defensive pressure too. Kenneth Tuffin all up in Mulvihill's face.
Mulvihill trying to sell the foul. Wynyard now on Smith-Milner. Wynyard, great D, Smith-Milner. He's been huge in this last 60 seconds or so. Jones, shot clock counting down. Wynyard wasn't ready for it. Is he going to get it anyway?
Oh, gets the N1. Wasn't pretty.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, there's a tech here.
Foul.
There's a tech on Smith-Milner.
This is the frustration building up. We talked at the start of the program, were they going to go easy on these referees? Well, there's your answer right there. This is how much it means to the Saints team.
So we just need to allow the stats to catch up to the live play here, because these are critical moments and critical plays. Foul was called on...
I think the foul was on Darnay Samuels, and I believe the tech foul was on Tuhi Smith-Milner. I think, looking at just what the events that happened.
This should be, what, 3 shots here. There'll be a tech foul and the 2 free throws.
Well, it was an and one, so he made the shot. Yeah, so it'll just be the 1 free throw here for the foul on the shot.
And do they leave Jones at the charity stripe?
Sorry, that was and Ty Wynyard was fouled. It was Ty Wynyard who was fouled taking the shot.
I'm with you. So that was the tech.
That was the tech. Not as valuable as it used to be in the old days, the old tech foul.
Yeah, with what?
2 free throws.
Yeah.
And the ball.
Do you like the change?
I don't know. I think as a player you get to have a cheeky word to the ref and pick up and if you've got no fouls, it's worth it for just 1 free throw. And they don't get the ball back, obviously.
Well, in other words, Dylan, if you were still playing, you like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the Saints, they've made a number of surges back at Taranaki. This has been a great game of basketball.
Oh, beautiful set play. Put the sharpshooter and Troy McLean to curl on the screen, as we see a foul on Dion Brewster.
Yeah, and it's getting to the stage now. I mean, to me, that's a fairly easy call.
Yeah.
That's Brewster over the back of a Taranaki player, but the Saints bench are up in arms like the world's against them here. This is just frustration now, and they're going to walk the length of the hardwood and go to the line.
That's what hurts. That's what hurts, is that a foul down here, you know, walk the length of the floor, as we see Zico Coronel peppering the referees. And this is a challenge for these referees to be able to keep this game under control, because right now there's a lot of emotion going on out there. You have to make sure that they control this game, control the emotions, have conversations with the coaches and explain why they've made calls. And yeah, you're right, a lot of this is out of frustration, but you still have to take the time to explain to the coaches why you've made that call.
Yep, and it's scoreboard pressure first and foremost that is building the frustration here for the Saints.
As we see, Mulvihill just makes the 1 of 2. Songi Api getting trusted with the minutes. Great pass, Smith-Milner. Just off screen there, but beautiful pass, Dion Brewster.
And the bucket's good.
Keeps the scoreboard ticking over at 17. Toy Smith-Milner with 14, 7 and 2.
And look at the handles here from Songi Ape. He's really energised Jones. Well, that was almost a little hesitation on the back of almost losing the handle.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but I do like the movement of the ears right now. They're moving the ball well. And that was an open look for Marcel Jones, albeit a little bit off balance.
Plenty of time on the shot clock, but Smith-Milner perhaps recognising Taranaki were just sagging off there because of it. So why not drive the lane, take the easy 2?
That's the left hand is the strong suit for Smith-Milner.
What do they call the charge?
Great defence. Smith-Milner's doing it on both ends right now for this team. Rebounding, getting in passing lanes, that time putting his body on the line, drawing the charging foul. Earns his team a rest with these towel wipers coming out and wiping up the sweat. Darnay Samuels is making sure this game isn't going to restart without these floor wipers cleaning the floor.
3.3 seconds, certainly time enough for the Saints to get a look here. The Mountaineers will put some pressure up the floor, but
what they can't do is foul.
Looking to take possession on the... Oh, they're going gridiron territory.
I'll tell you what. It's going to go right to the other end. No one touched it.
So no time off the clock. And now the opportunity is there for Taranaki because they are inbounding from right under the basket.
Let's see what they can do from an out-of-bounds play here.
I was about to say, Dylan, the pass was actually pretty good.
It was actually a dime.
Yeah, Smith-Milner just advanced a little too much. What can Taranaki do? Not a lot, not a lot. So both teams find a way to turn it over in the closing seconds of the third quarter. There's plenty of chat, but at the moment it needs to be heads down and focus on what needs to be done to win the game. This is anyone's to win. The Airs have the lead. They've had it for so long. Every time the Saints have come back at them, they've surged away again. They lead by 5 going into the final quarter.
There's a lot to be said about you Kiwis. You like breaking new ground? You're the best in your field? Stand up for what you believe in. But when it comes to pizza, you can't beat authenticity. Sal's Authentic New York Pizza.
Welcome back to Taranaki, the home of the Mountaineers, and we have a game on our hands here. The Sal's National Basketball League, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. And we're not going to give anything away from the other games. We appreciate some of you may well be recording, perhaps have the old My Sky busy working away, but all I'll say is make sure you catch as much of the action as you can, because the race for the Final Four, Dylan Boucher, is heating up as we head into the final. Well, this is the third last round.
Yeah, it's well and truly alive right now, and you know, there's, as we see from tonight's game, you can't just roll into a game and expect to win. You've got to bring your best effort every night, and if you don't, you're going to lose. And right now the Saints have to bring their best effort in this fourth quarter to knock off this Mountaineers team with a pep in their step.
How good are they? How good are they? This is the top of the table, championship favourites that have come to town, and on a couple of occasions you might have thought, yeah, okay, we've led for long enough, here come the Saints, thanks guys, we've given it a good effort. But they just keep rolling the sleeves up, and they've gone away again.
Well, certainly when the Saints have made their runs, you just think, here come the Saints, and you think the Airs will capitulate. And right now they're standing up to the test, and they've done it through their young players. You know, a lot has to go down to Drulio Lasongi-Api. He has brought some energy to this team. Marcel Jones has been solid for them all game, as we see the ball go through his hands.
23 points for Jones. As Samuel closing up on him. Lasongi-Api now getting good minutes too on the back of that high energy effort. Had to get the shot away quickly. Got a bit of the iron, but none of the twine.
That is not the start Trent Adam will be wanting. Wasn't a polished look. Let's see what the Saints have got. Go to their horn set. Here's the sharpshooter Troy McLean.
Good coverage here though by Taranaki, as they've done right through this one.
What you can't do on Brewster is reach. Just play good D. That is good defense.
Oh, look at the offensive board again. Smith Milner. Well, he must be firming in MVP votes, especially if the Saints get up and win this.
Yeah, he's certainly carrying his team right now. Those are the effort categories that you've got to have from your team. As Marcel Jones gets another foul on the floor, though. Darnay Samuels, guilty of fouling there, picks up his third foul. But that's the Ty Wynyard effect. When Ty Wynyard is not in the game, Tohi Smith-Milner is having his way on the boards. Physical and big and hard to box out. That time Marcel Jones was guilty of not being able to box out Smith-Milner.
Yeah, Smith-Milner 18 points, and I've just lost the stat in front of me here now, but he's on a double-double already.
11 rebounds.
So he is, and he's made some huge plays in the last 3 or 4 minutes of game time.
Yeah, and on the other side, got Marcel Jones, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Brewster, his influence growing in this game after a reasonably quiet start. He's been very efficient. 5 of 8 shooting, 17 points, 4 rebounds. He has, though, had 4 turnovers, which is unlike Dion Brewster.
You can't help but think the offense has to go through Dion Brewster's hands, though.
And it does. It does. And Jones says, I didn't touch him, sir.
And I tell you what, Tohi Smith-Milner is a great passing big man. We talk a lot about Sam Timmins as a passing big man. Smith-Milner has been doing it for years. High IQ, great passer, understands the game, understands how to get his players involved in the game. He is having a great all-round game right now.
Brewster to the line. He makes both of these, and we're talking a one-possession game of basketball.
Brewster makes no mistake on the first. As we see Brewster and Jones exchanging whether it was a foul or not. And Kerwin Roach is in the game with 4 fouls. So Zico Coronel's rolled the dice. Let's see when Trent Adam rolls the dice and rolls in Ty Wynyard back into the game.
Jones almost went to sleep on the rebound. They didn't expect to have a look at the ball there, Taranaki, thinking Brewster would make the bucket. Jones goes straight at him. Oh, my goodness me.
Wow. He had to do a lot of work on that one.
Well, that was 1v5. You know, Jones pulled the board down and he just never looked at a teammate. He just went down the floor and had eyes on the hoop. Fenwick out on McLean. Milner, the big man, drives through, was always favoured there against Hayes Walker.
Smith-Milner's carrying this team right now.
Hayes Walker draws the foul. He sold it, didn't he?
He sure did.
If he hasn't got a job as a real estate agent, get one quick, Hayes. You'll make millions.
Smith-Milner picks up his 3rd foul. You never want games being decided by fouls, but I can tell you right now, there's a lot of fouls out there on the floor. There's a lot of players that are playing with fire right now with 4 fouls or even 3 fouls. As we see Ty Wynyard on 4 fouls about to check into the game. When will Leon Henry be injected into the game with his 4 fouls?
Someone you would think is going to have an early night in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, every time the Saints make a run, Taranaki has an answer. McLean, it was a contested 3 ball. Telfer into the face of Smith-Milner, nothing called. Lots of contact there. Jones down the floor for the 3 ball. That would have hurt. He recognised it as a big moment, pulled the trigger. They get an offensive board. Hayes Walker all alone. Don't leave Hayes Walker for that long. Oh, they dodged a bullet there, the Saints.
They sure did. 2 bullets. Smith-Milner got hit in the mouth and didn't get back into the play. Was able to get back on the 2nd shot. As we see Scott Telfer get crossed up.
Or Roach. That's why he's back on the floor with 4 fouls.
Well, they need Roach to get going in this game. He's had a quiet game to date. You know, his foul trouble hasn't helped him, but he certainly needs to find his rhythm and get himself going into this game. As we see Telfer. Oh, that is an ill-advised shot if I've ever seen one, but I tell you what, it's only ill-advised if it misses, and it was nothing but net. Yep. Scott Telfer, take my hat off, big shot.
Ill-advised, but that is going to be so talked about tonight.
100%, 100%. And Zico Coronel, I think, would be sitting there going, I'll live with that. You know, it's not a shot that I'm sure Trent Adam, beautiful backdoor cut, Dion Brewster. Telfer, I can't fault Telfer's efforts right now, but he's just got to be a little smarter on his defense. Doesn't need to be up and in, as we see Carlin Davison getting harassed by Kerwin Roach.
Yeah, Davison's got to know that, though. Roach on the 4 fouls, so go at him. Draw the contact. Out to the corner for the 3 ball. Oh, that was not pretty.
You saw Dane Samuels giving him that 3-point shot because that's the scouting report. Turning around and telling the bench all about it. Just a 3-point game. Here come the Saints. Whose hands are they going through? Smith-Milner.
Roach, as he got the hot hand, just made the triple. He fancies trying to control things. Smith-Milner from the top, no. And rebound again, the O boards. Dylan Boucher, you spoke about it. They will hurt a team if you keep giving them up.
Oh, nice. Crossover, Hayes Walker. Oh, beautiful pass.
Great play. Brilliant basketball. And the fans right in this one.
Mountaineers bench giving it to Dane Samuels. I'm not sure if you want to poke the bear.
Yeah, because he can growl. And he has possession now. He might just want to go to work here. Little slow, almost a half euro, wasn't it? And he's having it all on the chest bump as well. Well, he's very lucky there, Dane Samuel, that he does not give a tech away. As we have a look at the afters here, it's not this play. Watch this. Oh, we just cut away. Leon Henry does check in now. Smith Milner with the rest. And this is almost okay. You know, Leon Henry now, if he can give Zico Coronel 2.5, 3 minutes here, Smith Milner checks in to finish the game. So they've managed this reasonably well. Leon Henry is experienced enough. He will play with a freedom here. If he fouls out, he fouls out.
100%. He's a smart player, and he's not a player who's usually on high foul counts, so he'll be pretty comfortable being out there on 4 because he's not a handsy player. He plays with his body. And, you know, look, more importantly, at the other end, he can knock down threes, and he'll space the floor out a little bit more. But how long can they keep Tohi Smith-Milner on the bench? You can only think it can only be for a minute or two. Watch the scoreline with him being off.
And remember, Ty Wynyard out there on 4 fouls for the Mountaineers.
And the other thing, it's so hard to get back into a game when you've been sitting on the bench for so long. So let's see if Ty Wynyard can inject himself into the game as we see Kenneth Tuffin putting all kinds of ball pressure on Davison up the floor.
Walker. Samuel with the good D. Telfer. No miracle 3 on that occasion. Hayes Walker might have to pop one here. Steps back from the free throw line. Great defense from Brewster. That is just smothering.
It sure is smothering defense, and Hayes Walker had nowhere to go. Now we see the shot clock violation. Trent Adam wants a timeout. The Saints are given a little bit of their own medicine back to the ears.
Yeah, this is one heck of a ball game. 5 minutes and 3 seconds to play. 1 point in it. And we're starting to wonder who is going to be on the floor in the final 90 seconds of this one.
Yeah, well, this is where coach management comes in. How well can these coaches, you know, coach this last 5 minutes of the game? Fouls are a factor. Players in form are a factor. Right now, Smith Milner's the best player for the Saints, and he's sitting on the bench. How long can he stay there?
And temperament is a factor.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Dane Samuels is clearly frustrated out there, and Scott Telford, being the pest that he is, has been the one getting under his skin. Zico Coronel needs to tell Dane Samuels, you're the important player for us. You don't need to be getting caught up in that stuff. Just play your high-level brand of basketball that you've played all year.
The fans are literally on the edge of the bleachers. They have enjoyed every second of this one. Proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. Gee, it's been great to have them on board this season. The Sal's National Basketball League. And I don't want to suggest that the result is meaningless here for Taranaki. But Dylan, I know you'll take this in the right context. Regardless of what happens here in the last 5 minutes, this has been a great night for this club.
The fans have been rewarded. You know, they've showed the heart. That's all you ask from your team, is show some heart and determination throughout the season. And again, doing it against the top team. There's the Dane Samuels that we know. Look at that talent. So good off the dribble. Wasn't able to make it. Carlin Davison reels in the rebound. But that's what I want to see from Dane Samuels. Getting to the rim. Using that skill package you've got. He's so hard to stop in those close quarters.
Ty Wynyard not getting involved in the paint. He's really just setting high screens here. Wasongi Ape, is he the man of the moment? And Bailey Knoll can't get the rebound. Henry with that reach.
Yeah, Leon Henry's a great defensive rebounder. Did a good job there, holding out Bailey Knoll, picking up the rebound.
Henry behind the back, kicks it out. Open look here for Samuel. Is this the moment for Dane? No, they still can't make the 3 ball. It's been hurting them all night.
They've had so many shots go in and out. Oh, Kenneth Tuffin picks up a foul. Hayes Walker doing a good job, just drawing the foul.
Drew contacts, asked the question, got the answer. Tuffin's okay though. I think that's his second personal.
Yeah, just his second personal. He's got a pretty clean sheet for this game.
So if anyone's not got a foul in this game, I mean, you've got to question them. Where's your commitment?
That's right.
Davison. Bailey Knoll curls away, and they left Davison all alone, although still had a body on him, and he, if anything, just got too far under the hoop.
Yeah, that's Leon Henry. Did a great job there, just showing his hands. Wasongi Ape goes for the steal. Oh, 2 guys going for the rebound, and Aaron Bailey Knoll picks up the foul. Davison and Bailey Knoll just not communicating on who was picking up that rebound. And that'll be Bailey Knowles' 4th foul.
It's a tough one to be critical of, though, isn't it, Dylan? You know, as a coach, you want 2 guys going for the rebound, but gee, it's a big moment, isn't it, with 3:45 left to play?
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those things that just, you know, simple communication as a player, just, I got it, or mine, even mine. I know they tell you in football not to say mine, but I tell you what, in basketball, just communication of who's got it is such a simple thing to do, but unfortunately that time it ends up costing them 1 free throw so far. Will it cost them a second? And the Saints have tied the ball game again.
And it's been a long, long time since they had the lead, and they have it now.
How will the Mountaineers react right now? Zico Coronel is looking a little less stressed over there.
Just a little. Just a little, which means on the stress scale, he's possibly down to about a 9.2 out of 10.
Oh, they're using about 4 seconds to inbound that ball too.
And they've got to get it over the half court here. They do.
They're getting very close to violations everywhere.
Even the cars in the car park. Apparently there's a warden close by.
Their offense is spluttering right now, and they're really under shot clock pressure.
But the defense is stepping up as well.
Absolutely. Kerwin Roach, beautiful D.
No iron there. It would have been a shot clock violation, but the Saints come away with it. We've said it a few times. Can we say it for the final time? Here come the Saints. What had Taranaki got in response?
Oh, they've caught a push in the back on Ty Wynyard.
He's out of there.
He's out of the game. Smith Milner does a great defensive job hitting the ball off the rim and draws the foul on the back from Ty Wynyard with the push. That is 2 fouls Ty Wynyard has got trying to move Toy Smith Milner out of his way. The momentum has changed, AD.
Oh, big time.
Dion Prewster, how fast he ran that lane before, and Carlin Davison is used to being able to block guys at the rim. Dion Prewster matched him athletically and finished above him for the easy fast break layup.
We've kind of been at this moment. We've been on the precipice probably 4, maybe 3 times earlier in the game.
Oh, get up, Roach.
Oh, he had a look too, Jones. The foul's called prior to that, though. I think this is on Telfer.
Yeah, it definitely went earlier, didn't it? Yep, you're right. Scott Telfer.
I was going to say, though, Dylan, we've been here a few times in this game, and the point of difference, though, right now...
Telfer's earned himself a rest. Sorry, carry on, AD.
...is that the Saints have gone on. You know, Taranaki were able to resist. They had the energy reserves. They had the wherewithal to respond, and at times they put on 8 and 9 point runs. But this time, the Saints have now gone more than 2 possessions clear, or they are 2 possessions clear, and that could suck the life out of Taranaki.
You just can't help but think they're executing well, they're getting the ball in the right people's hands at the right time. And on the other end, the Ears are spluttering offensively. It's because of this full court pressure. I talked about this full court pressure being a factor.
Davison, Samuel just backs off. Jones, oh, what a pass. Fenwick didn't have the hands there quickly enough, and they turn it over. And Jones in the background there is so frustrated. This means so much to them to try and get the scalp of the table-leading Saints.
Yeah, they need a stop here, because you just get the feeling if the Saints get a score here, they're good enough to be able to just hold this lead. They can do easy things with pressure with Prewster, Kerwin Roach. Oh, as we see a turnover, as I praise them. Look at him getting up here.
Davison, he wanted desperately to get in the air. He was looking for elevation before he had the ball.
This is the execution. Drulio has to put that thing in the air to Davison. He was calling for it in the air. He threw it at his toes. That hurts. You've got to convert those fast breaks. That was a 3-on-1 fast break, and they got nothing out of it.
They must capitalise, and they don't. And are we seeing Taranaki just run out of gas?
Well, you're just seeing not smart decisions, and that's what you get when you've got young players out there. You get energy, but sometimes you don't get smart decisions, as opposed to the Dion Prewster and the Saints who've got experience.
Prewster comes up short. Taranaki's still right in this, but they need a good offensive set here.
Look how quick the Saints get back on D, though. They're scrambling. Marcel Jones says, I'm shooting this one. I haven't had it for a while.
And he passed. It was a good pass for Fenwick. Foul is called, though. Was it called on the floor? There was no shot from Jones.
Yeah, the Saints are not on the bonus just yet, so it'll just be on the sideline as we see another timeout called. They've got to score on this possession, AD. They've really got to score when they come out of this timeout. Otherwise, you can't help but think the Saints, even though it's only a 5-point game, the momentum is well and truly shifted. And if they don't score on this possession, they will have gone scoreless on multiple occasions down the floor.
You just get a little insight into the Mountaineers huddle. And they are all eyes and ears on Trent Adam. He'll be drawing up the play. There's plenty of time left. They don't need the 3 ball. They don't need a super quick look at the basket here. They just need a good look at the basket, as the Yeti again does a great job entertaining the fans. How good, though, Dylan Boucher at the Saints. They've been under the pump. They've been behind by as many as 12. They looked at times like they were out of sorts, but champion teams find a way to win, don't they?
Yeah, good teams just know how to win close games. And, you know, they won an overtime thriller last weekend against the Hawks. Went down, got a win against the Nelson Giants by 10. This team knows how to win close games. Look at the experience that they're rolling back onto the floor with. Leon Henry, multiple championships. Dion Brewster, multiple championships. Darnay Samuels, Tohi Smith-Milner, experienced players in this NBL. Kerwin Roach has played college basketball at a high level. These guys all have played in big moments. And you look at the Airs roster right now. Young, inexperienced players turning down shots.
I think they're desperate for the look that Trent Adam drew up here as Jones does the next best thing and draws the foul.
Dion Brewster picking up his 4th foul. And we talked about these fouls becoming a factor. We've already seen the Airs with no Ty Wynyard out there. That is a factor right now. They look like they're spluttering on their offense, as Marcel Jones will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. He's played a lot of minutes in this game, 34 minutes he's played so far in this game, with 27 points, 6 rebounds and 5 assists. And
only the 2 turnovers for a player who often has the ball handling duties.
And anytime you've got high assists to your column, you're generally going to have a couple of turnovers to go with it. And he knocked down the second.
It's vital. Bring them back to 1 possession away, 1 3-point basket away.
Look for the Saints to be able to move the ball around. Songi Api getting full court pressure. They can't afford to foul. They're in the bonus.
Brewster is the right man for this moment.
Wanted to throw that pass. Kerwin Roach has been good in the last couple of minutes.
Playing on 4 fouls. Kicks it out, Smith-Milner.
There he is, Kerwin Roach. Offensive rebound over Marcel Jones.
And again, the absence of Wynyard. Brewster turned, had a look at the shot clock and the game clock. Brewster on the drive. Oh, that is championship material. That is superb from Brewster.
Brewster just steadies the ship every time they need a bucket. They go through Brewster.
Jones kicks it out, taking the contact and taking a tumble, no whistle. And they have been consistent on that call, the referees.
Yeah, they sure have. As we see the wet spot wiped up, just a 3-point game again. The Airs need to get a stop right now and edge back into this game.
Davison it was, just spun there. Brewster had possession. Referees, though, clearly ruling, Dylan, that the contact wasn't sufficient to call the foul. It's almost like I got $1 each way. I'm not going to call a flop, but I'm not going to call a charge either.
Yeah, there's nothing worse when you get a call called against you, know it's the wrong call, but you're right, they haven't made that call all night, so if they were to make it in that moment right there, it would be cruel and unfair, especially if Dion Brewster had picked up his 5th foul, because the offense is going through Dion Brewster's hands right now, and Smith-Milner. Look for these 2 to combine again.
They need a stop. Taranaki, Smith-Milner. And the and 1 as well. Well, Smith-Milner, the 3rd quarter really is when he turned it up, dragged his team back into the contest, and a play like that may well get them over the line.
Well, it's now 5 points, with 42 seconds to go, and Smith-Milner, although he hasn't had a great night at the free throw line by his standards, I'd back him to be able to knock this free throw down and push this lead out to 6.
Oh, he's now got no chance.
Money.
You called it, Dylan.
I've played many years with Tuhi and against him. I know what he's capable of, as you see Carlin Davison.
Songiape kicks it out for Fenwick. That was his look. He just got closed down. Jones, that's desperation. And they're at that prayer stage of the evening, aren't they, Taranaki now? What a battle it's been. What a fight. What a performance.
This is why the Saints team is on top of the table. They've been battling against it all game. As we see Smith-Milner wanting it in the post. Mismatch with Baxter Fenwick as he draws another foul and gets a good hard foul from Marcel Jones. Those guys know they've played many years against each other. They know there was nothing in that, but Baxter Fenwick just giving up the foul. Tuhi Smith-Milner. Unfortunately, this is the Airs' problem, is their inexperience at the end to be able to close out games, and this is why the Saints are so good. The experience they've got, making the right decisions down the stretch, and they have worn this Mountaineers team out with their full court pressure and offensive rebounding.
Yeah, and it's almost like we'll throw that scout straight back at you, because it was almost Taranaki saying, let's try and run the legs off these guys. Let's get up in their faces right throughout. But it's the tables have turned. It's the Saints that have seen Taranaki just run out of juice at the vital stage, and that is a good example of it. Hayes Walker missed 3 baskets on that occasion. Superb performance from the Saints. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't always up to their high standards, but it's superb in the courage, the fight, the commitment to the cause against a Taranaki Mountaineers team that brought it all tonight. Great contest between top and bottom, and it is top that gets the win, 89-81.
Yeah. Head off to Tuhi Smith-Milner and Dion Brewster. Those two single-handedly, 24 points apiece, but Tuhi Smith-Milner, 14 rebounds, as we see the top scorers there.
And look at the big names for the Saints. I think halftime no one was double figures. Smith-Milner, Brewster got up to 25-24. Good support. 3 other players in double figures, whilst for the Mountaineers, Jones fired up, didn't he? But they just didn't have enough. Wynyard got into foul trouble. But look at the rebounds. That's where Smith-Milner has made the biggest impact on this game.
Yeah, 5 offensive rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds. The last play was fitting that he pulled in the rebound, because he's been doing it for this team all night.
As we see the assist now, and Marcel Jones was doing it all, wasn't he? The Wellington Saints, a little bit too much ISO basketball perhaps, but they certainly found their way in the second half and found a way to get up and over the Taranaki Mountaineers. Blocks, nothing too startling there, perhaps 1 or 2 that we thought might have been missed on the box score, and plenty of steals. The turnovers were reasonably high for the Taranaki Mountaineers, with the Saints there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 steals on that page alone.
Yeah, 15 turnovers, just too many for the Mountaineers.
And a couple of them happening in that final minute or so as well. Confirmation of the rest of the round, those 3 matches tonight, including this one. Make sure you check out the other 2 games. We won't give anything away at the moment, but Saturday, the Nuggets and the Hawks, the Bulls and the Airs. So the Airs have to fire straight back up again. And on Sunday, the Jets and the Huskies. The Huskies have to kind of win their way home. There's a couple of teams in that category if they are to make the Final 4. And the Sharks will play the Hawks in a game that certainly is a dress rehearsal of sorts for the Final 4. Plenty of great action coming your way across this weekend in the Sal's National Basketball League, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. Absolute delight to bring this one to you for so many reasons. This is the home crowd, the support, the fervour, the excitement is just stunning for a hometown team that has struggled to get the wins this season. But the fans have turned up and shown their support proudly here tonight. The team did them proud, albeit in a losing effort. Wellington Saints stay top of the table. On behalf of Dylan Boucher and the entire team, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to catching you next time in the Sal's National Basketball League.